Contempt. I was a sweetheart. I missed little things like Christmas, Easter, and what have you. I was a daily drunk. My idea of heaven was the back bar in the Albany Hotel in Denver. They tore it down after I quit drinking so it would never be used for a lesser purpose. The back bar of that hotel, they opened around noon after the lunch hour. Everybody hear me? After the lunch hour. And they closed at 7 o'clock at night. That's an unusual bar, isn't it? Well, they served 5 ounces of gin or 5 ounces of Manhattan. Manhattan was made 1 part sweet vermouth and 4 parts pepper whiskey with a dash of vermouth, or 5 ounces of rum. Your choice, 80 cents. People moved into that hotel to drink in that back bar. The youngest barmaid was probably 72. There was no piano. There was no mirror. There was no music. And they kicked you out at 7 and let whatever was going to happen someplace else. Now that's a person who knows how to run a bar. Now, there were many promises. Never again, honey, this was the end of it. Today's the day I quit. And before dark, I'd be back in the bar. I had taken the law school cure for alcoholism. I went through law school drunk. I gave this pitch one time and a woman cussed and gushed and she says, "Oh, Frank," she says, "how did you get through law school?" I told her I was a drunk. I was not stupid. The worst day of my life when I got that degree. Frank McKibben, J.D., right? Juris Doctor. I am an educated man. I had gone to law school to find the inside knowledge of what was wrong with me. I had my friends around me. They'd come over from the western slope. I'd ran sheep. It's Woolgrower to you, Flatlander. Anything I hate's a milk-fed kid. Let me tell you about this trip to Rushmore and me going to sleep, right? First he told me that he had designed Rushmore, but he was such a child, some adult had taken it and stolen the idea from him and taken the credit away from him. Then we went up there. Now what is it, 20-some miles up there? It took him 7.5 minutes to get there, right? He beat that time coming back. And my eyes were closed all right, but I sure as hell wasn't asleep. Anyway. One of your people gave me this little piece of literature. 15 points for an alcoholic to consider when confronted with the urge to take a drink. A little do-it-yourself manual for how to stay sober. Now you got everything in here from mind control to love thy neighbor, and everything except the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. One of your fellowship gave it to me. I know you just keep it for toilet paper. And there's no mention in here about the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. If you can keep yourself sober with mind control, do it. If you can keep yourself sober with nice thoughts, do it. For God's sake, do it. If you can keep yourself sober with any of these 15 points, thank God you don't have to be in this fellowship and go and drink normally. But if you can't do that, and that crap is not working for you, let's talk about the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. This is how I worked those steps and how I worked them when I came in. I was extremely fortunate when I came in to have fallen in with a step worker. At that time, they were rare as a hen's teeth. There was all sorts of things going on. Do it any way you want. Do it when you can. How you do the program is suggested, etc. Worship doorknobs. Don't say God at a meeting. You might scare out the new man. Incidentally, I wanted to mention J.D. He'll feel awful bad. And, he thought I forgot him here, didn't he? Well, J.D. is an interesting fella. Now, he has done the work, and through the 12 steps and regular work on the 12 steps, he has recovered. But that's all internal. He looks today like the day he walked in. And what we had to do when he was about 4 or 5, 6 years sober was tell him to quit telling the new man, if you want what we have. He was scaring off more drunks. I was presented with these steps. I was told there was one book, and that was this book. And those steps were read to me. And I was left alone with it. And I was told, decide whether or not this is what you want to do. I didn't misunderstand that. Incidentally, I was an atheist, which I consider a great advantage, because I was forced to choose all the way down the line. Some of my friends were believers, and they had to be brought to the position where they knew they didn't believe before they could get along with the program. And I did not have that encumbrance. The first step, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. This is how I do that. Am I an alcoholic? This is how I do it today. Now, it's been quite a while since I've had a drink. Now, maybe I was a situational drinker. God knows I had a lot of situations in my life to drink about. Now, those situations have long, long ago disappeared. Now I can drink normally. I do not answer these questions. I let my body. A is about experience, not theory, not knowledge. Now, I was an emotional mess. I could have been diagnosed as anything. I am emotionally stable today. I am by anybody's standards. And I am in a profession, and I am a trial attorney, and that is tested on a regular basis. Now that I am emotionally stable, I can drink normally. What about 2 drinks a day for 30 days, no more, no less, and don't skip a day? Can I do that? Am I like you? Am I like you? You know, one drunk can smell another drunk, that's the truth. Am I a real alcoholic? The big book talks about real alcoholics. And distinguishes them from the heavy drinker. God knows I was a heavy drinker. I was a hog drinker. I didn't have a problem with my drinking until the end of it. A lot of other people had a problem with my drinking. Lots, because I was a coward and I was a bully. I'd play big chicken game in a bar. And you'd find some slick Romeo with his girlfriend. And I'd let him know what a coward I was. And push him with his girlfriend.